Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, and it's time for the Chang International Circuit of our career mode for round 16 here in Thailand. So in pole position is Johan Zarco with Quartararo and me on the front row, Grant, Rins and Marquez on the second, with Espargaro, Vinales, Espargaro, Savadori, Bagnaia and Miller, Oliveira, Morbidelli, Martin, Binder, Nakagami, Lecuona, Alex Marquez, Bastianini, Rossi, Marini and Petrucci at the back of the grid. So we look to the lights and on the left hand side of the screen, hold the clutch in and ready to release, and away we go. Can we get the perfect start? Can we get the whole shot diving over the inside of Johan Zarco? Can we go round the outside? That would be just as impressive if we can get the job done, but not quite. Johan Zarco, the Frenchman, the championship protagonist, with the championship leader behind him in second place, with the former world champion within Joan Mir on the right hand side of the screen. So who is going to be the bravest going into turn 3? Look at us trying to go around the outside. That was a perfectly planned manoeuvre. We've got Zarco up on the inside, I think, or he's actually just given the position back. Yes, he's yielded, and we now have first position from going around the outside within turn 3. Like that manoeuvre a hell of a lot. So braking now for the left-hander. This is the sector where I do lose a little bit of time, so I'm expecting the Ducati man to finally chuck us back ahead of us. Maybe a wheel or two. I'm not entirely sure whether he's going to make a lunge, but actually 0.4 of a second is in the favour of Matt Grant right now on board the Aprilia RSGP. So the two Italian manufacturers are going at it once again up into the top two positions here in the Chang International Circuit. So on the right hand side we'll go for turn 8, ringing it a little bit wider there to touch the rumble strip, or very near to. He's ran it a little bit deep for turn 9. Zarco will take a bit of time away from us. Didn't just take a bit, he took around 2.5 of a second. Now he's right on the precipice of chasing us down for this first position. Are we going to see a Zarco move going into turn 12? It's not happened yet, but give it time. Zarco is not a shy man. He certainly will not hesitate to have a lunge up on the inside of one of his biggest championship rivals of recent years. So bringing on the brakes then for turn 1, nice and smooth, nice and in control as the Dainese boot touches the tarmac ever so briefly, and now Zarco will trail by just under 0.2 of a second. You better believe the speed of that Ducati will catch him down, but unbelievably, Johan Zarco has been bettered by Joan Mir on a straight. That is not very realistic, but never mind about that for now as we run it a little bit deep for turn 3. So bring on the power once more, acceleration being applied with power setting 2 for a change. I'm not using power setting 3 from now on. I do want to try and save that power just in case we really need it. Downshifting to first gear there, making an absolute hash of the left-hander, so that is a big mistake as there's been yellow flags out behind us. I have no idea who that's gone down, but someone has perished here in the Chang International Circuit of Thailand. So the yellow flags have been withdrawn, and back to status quo. We have Grant in the lead with Joan Mir in second. A Frenchman in third position, but it's not the Frenchman you were expecting. Johan Zarco has been bettered by Fabio Quartararo, so he's now up into fourth position, or at least down to fourth position as Fabio has gone up to third. Vinales, Rins, Marquez and Espargaro finish up your top 8 as things stand right now, so not what I expected from the Repsol Honda duo. I did very much expect Marquez to be battling out with the best of us up here right now, as Joan Mir is 17,000th of a second away from making a move there. Very close, and Johan Zarco has just been pushed back down ever so briefly to 5th position as Maverick Vinales obviously had a little bit of a nibble somewhere. We now go on the right hand side for turn 1. Paul Espargaro has now got the fast lap of the Grand Prix with a 1:29.925, and now our lap times are beginning to come in. A high 1:29 from the former Moto 2 world champion, as we now bring on the brakes very firm for the right-hander of turn 3. Nice and tight to the apex this time. Not usually how I tend to tackle that track, or that particular part of the track should I say, but it's still fine. Rins has now moved ahead of Maverick Vinales and just behind Johan Zarco in 5th position, and Grant still up into the leading position. But to tell you what, going into the third part here is going to be crucial to make sure we can actually start developing a bit of a gap. If we can't develop the gap in the third split, then I think we're not going to make a run for this particular Grand Prix victory. We're going to have to then fight it out until the very end. I did run with the soft option front and medium rear. I did notice in the qualifying sessions that the two soft options didn't work. The double soft just did not work. The soft front hung on to the very end of the qualifying session no matter what, but the soft rear, no, it was not a good option. So soft front, medium rear seems to be the optimal combination for me within this circuit. Usually I tend to go for a harder tyre, but the soft seems to be working rather well this season now that we've upgraded the Aprilia to be something even better than what it once was. So on the right hand side for turn 12, we're about to start lap 4 of the 9 laps here in the Chang International Circuit, and that man on your screens right now is the fastest man on track. Matt Grant with a 1:29.571 within power setting 2, so we still haven't even touched power setting 3 to try and improve the lap time. So when we do, we better believe we're going to go even quicker. So let's go hard on the brakes once more for turn 3. I do love the braking zone for this particular corner. We run it a little bit deeper once more, but we're still in a good solid position. So this track, this race might not be featuring a battle that I anticipated. I honestly expected this one to be an absolute ding-dong of a battle, but anything can happen in MotoGP racing. Look where Joan Mir is. He's only 3/10 of a second, 2/10. It's not much. He's still piling on the pressure, so who knows what is going to happen within this circuit. Anything can happen in MotoGP, as mentioned just a few seconds ago. But we're now going the right-hand side for turn 7, and hopefully get Sector 3 right. So we have to get Sector 3 right. Why do I tend to struggle with it? I have no idea. But going tighter to the apex this time, a little bit earlier on the brake, seems to have paid a bit of dividends. Up by 3/10 of a second, but we did get it wrong going into turn 9. And because we got it wrong, that one little mistake, Joan Mir wants to insert himself into the top position. But we're going to try and go round the outside of the man on board the Suzuki. Hit the brakes very firm, but looks like Joan Mir's got the inside line. That is a fantastic position from Joan Mir, but we will fight back upon the acceleration. You better believe that the what's he looking back for? I have no idea. I think I'll have a little look behind me, because of whatever he was looking at, it was certainly more interesting than bringing on the acceleration going to turn 1 as in the race lead. So I have no idea what the hell Joan Mir was doing there. He would have lost so much time from just chucking his neck backwards to see what was going on. So now lap 5 of 9, Joan Mir in second position with a 1/10.5 behind us. The battle will continue to rage on. Have I just noticed there, Pecco Bagnaia, the fastest man on circuit, with a 1:28.7. That is a whole second quicker than the lap that we've just done on the previous one. That is ridiculous. Is that really the pace he's running right now? Is the runner-up of the real-life world champion, Pecco Bagnaia? Goodness me, that is insane. Pecco Bagnaia, where is he on track? Is he one of the people who fell and now he's just chucking in like ridiculously fast lap times? Because that usually does happen on MotoGP 21. So I guess we're going to see what will happen for the next couple of laps, especially on this one. If he can do it again, then I have no idea where he's going to be on circuit. There's a couple of riders who did crash within that bit of confrontation earlier on, down into the really early parts of the track. So they obviously had a horrific crash that's really hindered their race for now. But going back to the action that is unfolding ahead of us, going into turn 12, we still have the lead with 2/10 of a second clear from the man on board the Suzuki. So breaking into turn 12, it looks like we've ran it deep. We've run it way too deep. Well, let's have a look on the inside, see where Joan Mir is. I don't want to just pull onto the circuit and end up bumping into the side of him, but we are still in the position, never mind. Joan Mir has taken over at the front, so turn 1 has been claimed by Joan Mir and he's now leading the Grand Prix. Power setting 2, I don't think we need to panic yet. We don't need to be going for power setting 3. We have the speed, and around the outside we go of Joan Mir. Bring on the brakes for turn 3, and I think we've got the job done. We have regained position for the top spot here in the Chang International Circuit. So on the right hand side, here we go once again. It's kicking off once more. Joan Mir will try and get up on the inside. He's going to be alongside us. Can he be stronger on the brakes? We are not that great going into this left-hander, but we still hold it in. Stay firm for turn 4. Joan Mir's still there. He still wants it. He's not giving up without a fight. He positions the... Oh my goodness, he positioned it straight across me, and contact has been made. Joan Mir has gone down. That is carnage. That is not what I expected at all. That's his fault though. That was his fault. I do not take any responsibility for that crash. He flew across the corner, bumped into me, and then tried to correct himself by going over the rumble strip and pretty much just collapsing in the progress in that particular moment. So unfortunately for me, it did mess us up a little bit, because now I've kind of widened to turn 9 once again, and now Quartararo was taken over at the front. And can we chase down the Frenchman? I don't like it when Quartararo gets into the lead, because you know what he's like when he gets that clear space. A bit like Lorenzo, and I'm going to get really close to the rear of Fabio Quartararo. They're way too close. Contact has been made with the Monster Energy Yamaha man, and Quartararo is not happy about that at all. He is livid. Goodness me, Maverick Vinales wants to get involved. Maverick Vinales wants to try and take advantage of his current teammate on board the Monster Energy Yamaha, and Grant powers it through with the Aprilia RSGP. Power setting 3, is the Lord and Saviour of MotoGP 21. This is getting ridiculous. It's getting rather tight, rather intense now, as this Grand Prix builds up to its excellent finish I'm guessing it's going to be. But for now, lap 7 of 9. Let's get a quick recap. So after Joan Mir went down, Grant leading the way with Quartararo in second, Vinales in third, with Zarco, Rins, Marquez, Espargaro, Miller, and Pecco Bagnaia still the fastest man on track with that 1:28.703 from earlier. A ridiculous lap time that I don't think will be beaten ever again within this circuit of Thailand. So on the right hand side we'll go now for turn 7. It's a tenth of a second. Sector 3 is our demise. This is where we are making too many mistakes. Turn 8, pretty good. Turn 9, can we get it right this time? We've ran it wide again. We've ran it wide again. We're going to lose so much time to Quartararo and Vinales. Are they right on the cusp again? Not quite. We're still... Oh my goodness. We're still hanging in there. Just about, ladies and gentlemen. Just about. So the penultimate lap is upon us. We go into turn 12 on the brakes into the tight right-hander, and we just run it a little bit deep. We're actually going to set our fastest lap of the race there, but unfortunately a little minor mistake there going into the 12th corner of Chang International Circuit has made a mistake. And we go into turn 1, nice and tight to the apex there. That was probably one of the best ways I've tackled the first corner, and it is showing in the top right-hand corner of your screen, up by a tenth of a second already into that first split. Quartararo cannot get the slipstream as we go very, very firm on the brakes for turn 3. Nice and in control, that's actually. Very nice and tight indeed. Brilliantly done. We're up by almost 2/10 of a second. Do we go for it here, ladies and gentlemen? Do we go for the power setting 3 and just absolutely blast it? Decisions to be made, and decision has been made. Keep it on power setting 2. We'll only use power setting 3 in the time of emergency as we now bring on the brakes for the left-hander. This very, very innocuous corner of turn 5. It's so difficult to get right, and there you go. A minor mistake coming in from the world champion. But we're still up by 2/10 of a second. It's a tenth and a bit. Oh, it's actually dropping. It's down to a tenth. Quartararo could be seeing an advantage going into turn 9 after this particular corner now. So here we go on the right hand side. I have to get this right. Do we get it right? Pretty close. It's not bad. Quartararo cannot compete once again with us once more into that particular corner. We now have an advantage of a tenth of a second. Is Quartararo going to be bold enough on the brakes to make a lunge going into the final corner? Not quite. Penultimate lap is coming to a close. It's down to this. It is down to this. Grant on board the Aprilia, Quartararo, Vinales on both on the Yamahas. Who is it going to be that rises to the top in this particular venue? Turn 1 has been completed. We now only have 11 corners remaining. Quartararo, Vinales, what's your pressure like? How much pressure can you apply to the 2 times or soon to be 2 times world champion? I hope. Maybe I've spoken too soon, but I hope that we can get the job done this season. Going into the right-hander, the gap went briefly to 4/10 of a second. It's obviously fluctuated a little bit and gone back down to 2/10 of a second, but power setting 3 has now been applied. What's the point in waiting for them to attack? Let's just go for it. Let's be the aggressor with power setting 3, and hopefully we don't end up messing this up and making a mistake. But we got tight to the apex for turn 5, running it wide once again and touching the rumble strip. Quartararo will take advantage. We know this. It's absolutely fine. It's just this next part. If we get the next part done correctly, then we're going to win here in the Grand Prix of Thailand. If we get it wrong, then we're not going to be winning, I don't believe, unless it's going to be an absolute ding-dong of a battle going into the final corner. Bring it into turn 9. We are still in the lead. Brilliantly tight apex there. That is fantastic. I think that's the job done. 10th of a second and a little bit to Quartararo. The gap is still hovering the same. You can see how hard we're pushing now as we get close to the rumble strip, but that is going to be it. That is going to be another victory in succession for the MotoGP World Champion. Big wheelie over the line if we can, and that is Victor goes the spoils to Grant here in Thailand. So the end of that one, Grant takes the victory with Maverick Vinales and Quartararo on the podium. Johan Zarco just missing out by 2/10 of a second. Marquez 5th, Rins in 6th, Espargaro 7th, Espargaro 8th, and Oliveira finishes top 9 for this top 9 battle. So let's feast our eyes on the championship leader, because the Riders' Championship has decided to get a little bit larger. Grant has now got a 54-point championship lead ahead of Johan Zarco, 71 clear from Pecco Bagnaia, the man who took the fast lap of the race, and a further 4 more points ahead of Fabio Quartararo in 4th. So looking at the team championship, Pecco Bagnaia and Jack Miller still lead the way with the Ducati Lenovo team, as Aprilia Racing Team Gresini put themselves up into 2nd place, just 17 points behind the Ducati duo. Pramac Ducati in 3rd position, and Monster Energy Yamaha just trailing a little bit further behind in 4th place. Well, now look at the Constructors' Championship. It's pretty obvious which team will lead, and it's still the Ducati. Aprilia trail by 68 and Yamaha by 104. How about that one then, guys? Another victory for the number 47. Another victory for Aprilia after going winless after so many years. They are back on top and still on top after 2 years of not dominance, but we've certainly helped change the landscape of MotoGP with this fantastic machine from Noale. And I tell you what, guys, I think that's about it for me. I think we've had a brilliant race there. I think I very much enjoyed it. Good to be back on MotoGP 21, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button because it helps out the channel and the algorithm, so please do. And of course, finally, if you really enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe and join the Aces, and let's do some racing online on Ride 4, MotoGP and everything else. But upon that note, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to make this content for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.
Oh hi! Didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.